Hey guys, welcome back to the Rory Bratt Show podcast. So today's episode is all about gut health. We interviewed Nick Duffy on gut health and how to improve it, talking about how the gut is basically a second brain and how to improve our health overall. So if you're ready to listen, the podcast will be just coming shortly. Enjoy. Hi guys, welcome back to today's podcast. Today we have Nick, who's going to talk about digestive health and his audience and how he helps his clients through the pandemic. Hi, Nick. Introduce yourself on today's podcast.
Hi, my name is Nick Duffy. So I've been a PT for over 10 years now, helping people on a one-to-one basis and all across the globe, whether it's people in their day-to-day sort of health or you're someone who wants to win a fitness competition. I am the man. So I believe people want to talk about something to do with digestive health, is it?
Yep, digestive health today. So how did you get into digestive health?
Through my own research, really, I've had a lot of issues with my own sort of gut stuff about having lactose intolerance, eventually having gluten intolerance, and just really wanting answers because it's not nice, as you know, when you have gut problems and you've got bloating, gas, and all this sort of thing. And these are day-to-day problems people have. And I think in the past, people are sort of thinking, oh, no one else has these issues, which they do. They're just not willing to talk about them. So, um, it's been quite a journey, and you're never you never stop learning about these things because it's such an in-depth topic. And I would personally say a lot of personal trainers have no understanding about gut health, and it's not just a straightforward thing you just pick up and learn. Dealing with clients who've got different sort of understandings about things like IBS and other more severe conditions, it can literally turn your life upside down. That's sounding too serious.
Yeah. Wow, straight to the point. No, so who did you look to study, or did you go on any courses or read what podcasts or books?
It's mainly just off the top of my head, I couldn't even mention books and stuff I've read, but there are some really good books which tell you full ins and outs of many things, whether it's discussing about the theories of like leaky gut or some of these areas which a lot of GPs these days will just completely say that isn't true. Obviously, they're basing it upon actual research, not theories. But yeah, just personal research, whether it's articles or journals and stuff like that over the years. And there are a lot of doctors and people like good YouTube channels which you can find some really good information online. Obviously, the internet in today's society, you can pretty much learn everything on the internet as long as you're willing.
That's it. Be a personal trainer.
Yeah, literally.
That's it.
Some sort of guru.
Yeah. So you talked about IBS. So what would you say the best? I know it's like a broad subject, but how would you help someone with IBS if they wanted to lose weight and stuff like that?
Well, like you said, there's no real set answer, I would personally say, with anything to do with digestive health. Like, where have you got the understanding that you actually have IBS? A lot of people are misdiagnosed with that. And a lot of your digestive issues can be resolved by simply improving things like sleep, how much water you're drinking. Are you having enough fiber in your diet? Have you got a bad ratio of good and bad bacteria in your stomach? Have you been taking antibiotics for many years? These, if you're not aware, they destroy the good bacteria in your gut, also the bad bacteria, which is obviously what you're taking them for, to cure infections and all that sort of stuff. But ultimately, it's just about improving the foundation of your life, as we said about water and fiber intake, and generally reducing stress, because stress is like the pinnacle thing that really screws with your digestive system. If your body's stressed, you're not digesting food properly, you're not getting the minerals and vitamins out of everything you eat, and ultimately you're not getting more calories out of what you eat. So all you're going to be doing is eating more food, and you're back in the cycle of eating more food, which you don't want to be doing because it's making you overweight, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Who wants to get off the sofa when you've eaten a bag of your favorite cookies or whatnot? You probably won't.
Yeah. So
There's no real set answer, but I think you just need to dive into what your actual problems are And whether you've got someone helping out or not is the point which you're just looking at your diet, whether you're doing a sort of diet where you're writing everything down and then you're trying to work out what is actually causing you the issues, because it may be something simple you can just remove off your diet. So a simple elimination diet where you write down everything you eat and then you take one thing off your diet, wait 5 days and see where you're at in terms of side effects, or if it's bloating, gas and other things. You may even get some changes of your brain chemistry. I personally had a lot of issues with gluten intolerance, and it really made me really anxious and stuff when I had certain foods.
Oh, really?
To the point which that is actually why I closed down my PT business, because it was that severe, which sounds a bit far-fetched, but
Yeah.
it got to the breaking point personally where I just couldn't handle it. The fear of eating certain things in the supermarket. Is it going to make me feel anxious at work? Depressed, and all these sort of things which are all characterized by your gut health, obviously your second brain.
Yeah.
So don't want to seem like I'm going on a rant, but
No,
these
but
are
no,
very severe things. And I think personally in lockdown, people are really starting to understand mental health with anxiety, depression, stress and stuff like that is becoming a much bigger issue, which is good because people are starting to talk about it more. But these are the foundations of getting results in everything.
Yeah, no, it's something to see. I don't really dive in as deep as you into gut health. And when you said about how basically gut health is like a second brain, and like how it triggers a lot of other things, it's really it's interesting to see. And like I want to try and pick your brain a little bit more. So how would you increase? Would you naturally go, if someone said they've got bloat, they're always bloating, how would you naturally decrease bloat? I know it's a wide answer, but like general.
There's various things you can look at straight away. Like, is the person having enough water in their diet? Why? Because if they're eating a lot of high sodium foods, the balance of sodium and water should be at a certain level. Typically, there's a lot of salt in fast food products and stuff like that. And if you're not getting enough water in, you are just simply going to bloat. The same as if you start eating loads of salt and you are having a lot of water, you're still going to experience bloat. But once your body optimizes the system after, say, 4 to 7 days, you're not actually going to have bloat. So it works both ways. But like I said, looking at what you're actually eating and trying to work out, is it causing you bloat? How do you feel after a meal? Assessing your body. Do I feel tired? Do I feel like, for example, if I have white rice, very good, fast digesting carbs, I feel really good. I have good energy. But if I eat pasta, obviously gluten and non-gluten, I just feel like sluggish. You know, when you feel like you've got a ball in your stomach and you're like, oh, I don't really get on with work and stuff. These are sort of the telltale signs you should be looking out for. Because ultimately, why do you want to be eating food when you're hungry and you want to feel energetic when it's just making you tired? Like, all you're going to be doing then is just reaching for your next stimulants, such as caffeine, and then you're back in the sort of swing of other problems.
Vicious cycle of it all.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate reality with it all. So, what was your original question? Sorry.
What would you reduce? What would you say to someone how to reduce their bloat?
Yeah, so looking at your diet, looking at how much fiber content you've got in your diet at the moment. So whether that's you're signing up on MyFitnessPal, typing in all the diet you're eating at the moment, and seeing how much fiber is in your diet. And then some people are not simply having enough fiber, and that's partly why they're not going to the toilet every day, and all these sort of daily things you should be doing to just be healthy.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, no, just listening. No, it's nice
because there's plenty of people. Perhaps, hopefully, you're going to the toilet every day without being a bit vulgar. But there are some people who don't go to the toilet for multiple days at a time, which is just not good for your health. All the toxins that build up in your system, and ultimately, you want to be getting rid of the waste products of all the chemical things that are happening in your system. So, and like we said, with it being your second brain, your stomach, like a lot of the brain chemistry is controlled in your stomach, and people who often have depression one of the main issues is because they have poor quality of their gut health, like serotonin, if you're familiar with the neurotransmitter of that, and dopamine. A lot of that is to do with your stomach health. So if you have a really bad stomach problem or whatnot, you will often find you're very depressed. So before you reach out for prescription medication, whether it's antidepressants or whatnot, improving these sort of things is going to massively help you, which sounds a bit like I'm going down a different route, but these all interlink. And I think a lot of, like I said, a lot of the problems at the moment in lockdown, they're all very interlinked, which perhaps people wouldn't be looking at. Because people are stressed, people are having less sleep and being worked too much, and the fear of losing your job and all these sort of nasty things, which unfortunately is the way it's all going. But really just knuckling down and looking what you're eating, putting in your mouth on a consistent basis, and just noting down on paper, how do you feel after you've eaten that XYZ? Because it's pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, it is. Would you say to someone when they first come to you, and would you offer them supplements if they're not eating enough minerals or vitamins, or would you say these are the foods you need to eat to improve your gut health or your general health?
1 second.
It's all right.
Sorry, I've got a gas heater on, so my mouth is like, saves me the pennies, right? No one wants.
Yeah.
Sorry, just remind me the question again.
So if someone came, if someone came to you, would you, and their general health,
the consultation would be summarizing where the person's at, what do they need to go down. If they do need to complete like a 5-day food diary before having some sort of coaching off me, may have to be done. I wouldn't promote supplements unless they're really needed. Initially, all we're looking at is the basic foundation of sleep, reducing stress, making sure you've got a good amount of fiber in your diets, not having too much sugar. I'm not anti-sugar, but at the same time, sugar is not good for some things relating to your gut health, feeding bad bacteria and so on. And stimulants, as we said, like interlinks with sleep. If you're not getting enough sleep, your body is not going to be running optimal. It's pretty straightforward.
100%.
So, so I don't know why I keep forgetting the questions.
It's all right, but it's just what like would you supplement? What supplements of like making sure it's like good health and stuff like that?
Depends what you've actually got wrong with you. If, let's say, you've done countless courses of antibiotics, you may be worthwhile taking a really good probiotic. But again, feeding the good bacteria via your fiber intake is going to feed the good bacteria. So if you're not doing that straight away, you should be. And depends if you're someone who I would maybe say, I feel like you've got leaky gut, you need to completely eliminate all the things that are damaging your gut lining, and basically repair that. In some literature, they will say you only need low dosage of L-glutamine, which is basically the foundation of your gut lining. But I personally don't think that's the case. I've had a much higher success rate with people who've had gut problems in the past, and high dosages of glutamine, sometimes depending on your body weight, up to levels of 50 grams a day, which might sound a bit alarming, but at the end of the day, if you're someone like myself or other people have helped cure their gluten intolerance, and you said do this and you're going to be able to eat bread again, if you're like me and a bread junkie, that's going to sound quite attractive. So yeah, there is no set answer, because unless you have
more of a general question,
unless you have the person in front of you, then you can't really say do this and that. It's quite a specialist thing, because you don't want to be saying someone take XYZ supplements that it's going to make all the things happen, and then it isn't, because at the end of the day, it's hard-earned money. You don't want to be wasting your money. The only real supplements you should be taking as a sort of health foundation is a fatty fish oil, vitamin D3. Obviously, there's not a lot of good weather in the UK at the moment, and potentially a protein powder to save money. because you don't want to be buying loads of meat and stuff for most people. And as we said, a lot of it is just coming through your diet.
Yeah. It's definitely your. It is a broad question, and it will be a lot of people will be like, okay, I need to take this supplement to help it, instead of really just focusing on the diet spectrum and seeing what is actually affecting their diet. Elimination. Every 5 days to removing food and stuff like that. So yeah, no, it's. I know quite a few people will be like, they look for the quick fix to get their gut better and waste money, and like even just like hearing about probiotics and being on antibiotics for so many years, it's like people forget about the good health about it all and the bad health of it all. They just think they're going to eliminate just the bad health, but it actually ruins everything.
Yeah, and sadly, I've had experience and know clients who've had the same. You might pay a serious professional who you think is more qualified to give you the right gut advice, a nutrition therapist. Typically in London, they're going to cost you anywhere between 100 and 200 pounds an hour. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they're just going to give you some massive list of supplements to take. And it's more a case of, there's two-sided people on the argument. You should or shouldn't take it. And for a lot of people I've been helping, whether you're looking at stuff like their blood work or not, purely trying to fix their gut health, it's wasted money. And you would think in this day and age, the people who are charging good money, they've got the answers, which unfortunately is not always the case. You know, I mean, you see your physio, you've got an injury, and you think, all right, they cost more money, they must have the thing that I need to fix my injury. And we all know, we've seen someone and the service was absolutely garbage. Yeah, we only know this until we see the person who isn't garbage, and then we get comparisons. So
no, that's good.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah. So who do you work with mainly right now then? Like with the pandemic and stuff like that. What you
Well, I've only been back into coaching for about 3 months, but as I said, I've been doing it for many years before. But the large majority of my clients at the moment, I'm focusing more on digestive health, reducing people's anxiety and depression and stuff like that. But I still do have a handful of clients doing fitness competitions. It's a bit hit and miss at the moment, obviously, because you know if they're actually going to happen or not. But general population people and some of the people who want to go to the absolute extremes of obviously doing fitness shows.
Yeah, because you don't really hear a lot of people like coaches. The mainly coaches you hear is weight loss, competitor, fat, muscle gain, not like tackling like digestion, anxiety, depression, which is really, it's really nice to like see and like hear different like the stories and like different.
I think it generally, without sounding arrogant perhaps, it is quite easy for most people to burn fat if you've got an experienced coach saying do this and that, you follow the handbook, you get the result. Whereas curing people's like long-term sleep problems and ultimately things that are going to easily take years off your life, in my view anyway, is a much bigger picture and something a lot of people should be focusing on now. And then when gyms do reopen, you've got more ammo in your tank sort of thing, and you can really hit the ground running with getting really motivated about fitness. Because some people these days, they just don't want to do home workouts, do they? Don't have enough room, don't have, luckily in the background, I've got a nice little gym set up here, don't have a garden. And I think some coaches do overlook this, and people are not feeling great about whole working out at home, but improving your sleep, stuff with stimulants and anxiety and stuff is the root of getting really good results, whatever you're trying to focus on.
Yeah, definitely. It's I've probably a handful of clients, they've already turned around and said to me, they're like, I just can't do this Zoom workouts. I haven't got enough space on homeschooling. It's just, the stress levels are going higher and higher and higher, and they just haven't got, either they're just so stressed out and other things are going out, sleep, caffeine intake's going higher and stuff like that, which is then it just goes into a virtual circle again, doesn't it?
I do find it quite mad how some people are paying for Zoom classes. I have some clients who are doing like setups with like Zoom, Zumba, and stuff like that. No, for example, a lady last week said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to sign up to this class," and I watched the demonstration video of what was going on, and it was just madness. Like no sort of understanding about exercise technique, no understanding about safety precautions, and things which ultimately they may get you negative results. And what I mean by that is, if you get injured, you're going to be down another rabbit hole of negative stuff, because it's a spiraling event when you're going to feel shit. You're probably going to put weight on, whether you sprain your ankle or slip a disc in the back or something. So, and everyone, as you said, they want instant fixes. They want the dopamine reward system of feeling good in
Very
a situation
quickly.
where, to be quite frank, a lot of people are not going to feel good. And I think a lot of people need to embrace this and just realize this is going to be tough, and it's going to keep still being tough for a long time. But if you do deal with it, you're going to be a much stronger individual when all these things hopefully get better. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So it's good to see a different insight on how you like coach people. You know, as you know, losing weight, gaining muscle is quite an easy, simple thing if you've got the tools right. But you know, looking at someone's sleep or their gut health is a different kind of style. Yeah, no, it's really good to have an insight on everything. But yeah, no, thinking where would like say where would like a client say they got lack of sleep, they've got a very just a general question, like a general idea. A client who's really tired, she sleeps maybe 6 hours a night, she's got kids, she wants to lose weight, but her sleep is holding her back, her stress levels is too high. How would you, like a general like answer, how would you change that?
General answer would be, how can we reduce your stress? Whether it's you're doing 10 minutes of writing down what you're going to do in the next day, so you're a bit more organized, or 10 minutes of yoga, listening to your favorite music, hopefully potentially having some time to exercise, and not feeling like you've got everything in the world going on and you've got all these kids running after you and making loads of noise, and not having time for yourself, which is difficult to get to the same time going to sleep every day when you've got kids. But making sure you're waking up in when your sleep cycles are going to the next one. And what I mean by that is, if you're having a sleep cycle of 90 minutes, you're not waking up in half a sleep cycle, because you're going to feel groggy in the morning for the next 2 to 3 hours. You're probably going to have a coffee. And you can simply remedy this by just typing in Google sleep calculator, and it will just tell you the times you should be getting up based upon the time you're going to bed. Or you can reverse it around and put in the time you want to wake up, and it will show you the other way around. I think
Yeah.
I explained that wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So isn't like a sleep? Well, I've read quite a bit about sleep cycle, but like 7.5 hours sleep is recommended. What people say.
Yeah, what is it, about 6 to 8 hours? But there's no rule of thumb with that. Some people can completely operate on 5-6 hours of sleep, and many people do. But if you're someone who, for example, is wanting to put on some decent muscle tissue, 5 hours really is not going to cut it. If that means Monday to Friday or Thursday you're getting 5 hours in, you're simply going to have to top that up on the weekend. If that means having a lie-in, having an extra sleep, and making sure you're getting the total hours in across the week, or whatnot. So it is obviously goal dependent, but for the most part, a good 6-8 hours is going to be definitely sufficient. But it's the quality of your sleep.
Yeah.
If you're getting broken sleep, you're going to the toilet multiple times a night, your partner's punching you in the face in their sleep, or some sort of thing which does go on.
Yeah, I know.
Not saying domestic violence in the household is going on, but you know, statistics do say it's going up.
Yeah. Stress
So,
levels. No,
yeah,
it's good. Yeah, no, it's just because I have quite a few mums that are juggling homeschooling, kids, training, sleep goes out the window, and it's just like something to like a lot of people probably listening and be like,
I
oh,
think a lot of it, when you're talking about people who are running family lives, is the management of your time. How can you save time in your day-to-day life? And the easiest one with that is managing your food better in terms of making food so you don't have to spend as much time making food, which sounds a bit like what? But if you're spending every day 20 minutes making your lunch and then you've got to do your kids' meals and stuff like that, if you're simply making multiple lunch and dinner meals in one sitting, and then you've got 3 days in advance, that's going to save you a lot of time. And that's where you can fit in those additional things, whether it's 10 minutes reading a book or something that's going to potentially bring your sleep down, or just simply have 10 more minutes with your kids. Obviously, a lot of people are getting homeschooled at the moment, doing Zoom classes, or should be doing Zoom classes, probably on TikTok
yeah,
and YouTube. But yeah, there's always time in the day. You just got to think, where can I save time? And like I said, meal preparation is key. Doesn't matter if you're doing fitness competitions or you're a busy mum of five. Like, you just got to think, how can I improve this with methods such as that?
no, it's really good. No, it's good to see, because I think a lot of people they listen to this and they'll be like, okay, like it's especially busy mums, they'll be like, oh, I find it difficult to lose weight. Juggling time is probably the problem. But then they say, oh wow, I'm really tired. I need to have a coffee before I get up in the morning. It's that vicious cycle what people get into. It's just
And you can
inside.
also use it as like a springboard to do other stuff. So let's go back to the diet setting. So if you said, yeah, I'm going to make the food and that, you'd be like, all right, well, let's work out what I'm actually having for dinner. Like I said, get on MyFitnessPal. Before you know it, you've got a better understanding of how many calories you're having in a day, whether you want to be making recipes with your kids and stuff like that. It's pretty easy to do. And it just incorporates more into your daily life. And we're not talking, and I think this is the biggest problem in lockdown people are having at the moment, especially with mental health, is thinking they can go 0 to 100 mile an hour in one day of signing up with some coach or just trying to do it themselves, when in reality, people have been trying to do this their entire life and failing. How about you just do it at a slow rate and actually learn and do a bit of trial and error? You are going to make mistakes, and you just got to realize these mistakes are going to happen. Don't get too demotivated, and just do what you can. You can't do everything at once. As you realize as a mum, you can't try and do like 5 kids' dinners, and do your own stuff and all this stuff. The hours just go away before you know it. So
Yeah. No, it's
just breaking it down is just going to make it such easier.
No, that's such a good point. And time management all end of the day, it comes down to time management, really. And just having
Everything
a head.
does. Right.
Yeah, everything, the whole lot. But no, that's good.
You plan. Let's say you got a good paid job, whether you're a mum or not. You plan all your stuff at work normally, whether it's the day before, you've got your schedule and that. And you've got to ask yourself, why am I not planning part of my life outside of work? Why do I do it at work? Because it makes my life easier, makes my life hopefully less stressful, and all these sort of things. So it's written on the wall in front of you. You just got to realize the answers are there. You've just got to look a bit closer.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's definitely. Well, that has covered all my questions today. And it's really helps, especially it will help my audience as well. Where can everyone find you, like your social media, and get in
You
touch?
can find me on Instagram under Nick Duffy Fitness. Duffy spelled Duffy. And I'm generally posting a lot of educational videos on there, basic stuff, or whether you're someone who wants to get a bit more advanced. And that's pretty much it. I don't really use any other platforms because, it is with social media. Instagram's the one, right?
Yeah, that's it. Well, you got, yeah, Instagram or YouTube, or that's it. And but no, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate like picking your brain, definitely on digestive health, and just it's thinking more about a second brain and stuff like that. It's really nice to learn
Yeah,
more.
thanks for having me. And it's been a bit all over the place, I'll admit that, but hopefully there's some good
It's all right.
nugget of
No,
information.
definitely, definitely.
And if anyone's got any further questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram, and we can see how we can help you out.